Hey guys, it's Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're talking about Star Wars Resistance and some other things related to Star Wars Resistance.
Yes.
Basically politics and Star Wars, because they both seem to go hand in hand these days. So I guess, do you want to talk about the Resistance trailer first, or you want to talk about Leia's voice actress?
I saw the Resistance trailer first, because I saw this all yesterday. This all went down yesterday, basically, but we were busy. But, yeah, so they have a new trailer out for Resistance. This one isn't as bad as other trailers have been. Go ahead. What are you saying?
No, I was going to say I agree with this. There actually is like a Star Wars element, to this trailer compared to the previous trailer.
Yeah, it doesn't look as terrible. I will give them that. It looks a little bit better. The art style is still a bit cringy, but it's not as bad as the other trailers, made it look.
Yeah, the humor is still very young. It still feels like a very young show.
It's definitely a show for kids. But like other people brought up, the Clone Wars and Rebels and that were kind of shows for kids too, and
Yeah, I think Clone Wars kind of skewed older kind of right out of the gate, because I think George Lucas basically was like, well, I can't afford to make a bunch of movies or a TV show about it, because I think originally it was supposed to be a live action show, and it was cheaper to do it in animation. But yeah, Rebels definitely skewed younger. This is gonna skew younger.
Oh, definitely.
It's I don't know. We'll have to see it. We'll have to see it. Again, I'm not a big fan of the art style. Compared to, I actually would prefer like the Rebels Clone Wars look, but at least there's some Star Wars elements in this trailer. Now let's see what people think. We'll go down here. Okay, so now this dropped yesterday. This is this actually isn't a lot of.
It isn't. It's not a lot of views either. I think people are just burnt out on it.
I think they are. We're talking another trailer for the show. On Star Wars, the official Star Wars YouTube, and it's only got 142,000 views. It's only got 6,000 upvotes.
Oh, there's Leia.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Leia. 6,000 upvotes and about 5,000 downvotes. Of course, the fandom, this is pretty indicative of the fandom now. The fandom is basically split right down the middle on Star Wars.
Their other trailer had a considerable difference in upvotes and downvotes originally. And what it says to me is this came out yesterday, and there's only 142,000 views on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
This kind of shows a lack of interest. I think really that's, kind of, at least, my armchair observation with Star Wars now is, I think a lot of people are done being angry about The Last Jedi. They're done being angry about Star Wars, and they're just done with it. Like, they just don't care anymore.
I think the apathy, yeah.
Because we're seeing that even in, the Star Wars videos we've done. Now, the first few videos we did actually got a lot of views. We talked about Solo, got a lot of views. And then it just seemed like all the Star Wars videos just don't.
People are just sick of it.
People don't care. And that's actually worse.
Yeah, apathy's worse than hate or,
There's no passion for Star Wars at this point from a lot of people. And, it's really going to take... I think episode 9 being phenomenal, which I don't think it's going to be. I think they painted themselves into a corner. It would take episode 9 being just freaking amazing to get people back on board.
I'm interested to see, even if they promote the heck out of it, they promoted the heck out of the last one, how it's going to do, because I get they're trying to go younger to get new fans. But I still want, if people are this burnt out and they're apathetic, I wonder how 9's going to be.
Yeah, I don't know. So that is Resistance. We'll give it a shot. Still not sold on it, but we'll see.
What were the comments? When I saw it yesterday, most of everybody was like, "Oh, it's the bestest thing ever."
Well, this one, the highest vote comment. Anyone else actually willing to give the show a chance? Both Clone Wars and Rebels took a while to get the right momentum, and look at them. Maybe Resistance will be the same. It's possible. It's possible that it could defy expectations. Rebels never got the right momentum. It had 2 brief moments that were good. I don't know. What I've seen of it actually was pretty decent. I've seen most of Clone Wars, and I've seen a little bit of Rebels, but the rest was Scooby-Doo. Clone Wars was a masterpiece.
Clone Wars is what I saw most of.
Yeah, I will agree this looks more entertaining than Rebels, but that's not saying a whole lot. You have a good point. We've only seen parts of this show so far. First impression was bad, but let's give it time before calling it a failure. Yeah, I'm, this is kind of where we're at. Based off Season 1 trailers for both Clone Wars and Rebels, I was on board and liked what I saw. This, I'm just not into it. I don't like the style, and the jokes seem flat. I will definitely agree with this.
It sounds like it's the Last Jedi. You open with a your mama prank phone call, and that's this kind of seems to me is more of the same.
Yeah, and I think that with the Star Wars movies, the original trilogy anyway, that you know, the jokes were organic. They didn't, you know, it was fun. It was funny, but they weren't.
I mean, there were
forced.
cringy things too when you go back and watch it.
Yeah.
But you know, The Last Jedi was just didn't feel right from the beginning.
Yeah, so we'll see. You know, again, if they had led with this trailer that actually showed some Star Wars instead of high school antics and racing and junk like that, I think it would have.
We're actually fighter resistance pods, but we're racers too. And now there's a spy thing going on.
It's like freaking Speed
and
Racer.
Pirates and it's so confusing. But it's at least
space.
This trailer was actually a little bit better.
Yeah.
For being fair.
Yeah.
But go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, it feels like Speed Racer in space. You've got the races, and then you've got like this espionage thing going on, which it's okay if it works. But yeah, the jokes do seem kind of dumb. Some of the characters seem annoying.
But they're also made for kids. So
it's made for kids.
They
I don't know.
Lowered it for kids, I guess.
Lowered the bar.
Because kids are stupid. Don't
kids
you know
are
this?
dumb. Kids are dumb.
Kids don't appreciate humor, and that's good. They have to have in-your-face, obvious humor.
Well, I'm kind of like, well, if they wanted to get the kids on board, all these characters, they need to be gamers in the Star Wars galaxy. Gamers on a mission.
Yeah,
it's just get the YouTube.
You know what this kind of stuff reminds me of? When I was teaching elementary school art, this woman came in, and she was trying to get them excited. This older lady came in trying to get them excited about this event they were having in a nearby town. And she talked to the 5th and 6th graders the same way she talked to the 1st graders. And she was like, okay, boys and girls, now aren't you excited? And they were just looking at her like, what's wrong with you? And, and that's what this reminds me of, because, these kids, they're trying to talk to, kids like they're in kindergarten. And, maybe this is gearing for kindergarten, but I don't know.
I don't know. I'm with you. I think they want to create new Star Wars fans because they burnt the bridges with a lot of the older fans.
We get the young ones. Get them early.
Get the younglings in there.
Get them early.
Train them. I just don't know if today's kids really care all that much about Star Wars. There's so much more to be into these days. I mean, when we were kids, like, our options were limited, and Star Wars was a very fresh thing, and now it just feels like you said, like older people trying to be hip. That's what it feels like.
Like if we were trying to be hip and cool. No,
right? Because we're just not hip and cool. So anyway,
our kids will tell you so.
So we're have a freeze frame here on General Leia. General Leia is voiced by Rachel Butera, who is a voice actress who was a contestant on America's Got Talent a few years ago, and she's very talented. I've heard some of her impersonations, and she made it, I think, to the finals. She got pretty far. Anyway, she's coming under fire because Star Wars and politics, mostly politics and Twitter.
Yeah, all you have to say is Twitter.
All you have to say is she's coming under fire because of Twitter.
And that explains everything. You just say Twitter, and people are like, "Oh, okay, Twitter."
Yeah. So Rachel Butera yesterday posted a video mocking Christine Blasey-Ford, who's, of course, testifying in the Kavanaugh trials, which is all anybody freaking talks about now. Getting tired of hearing about it. But she was mocking Dr. Ford in a video. It was very short. It was about a minute, but she basically was mocking her voice.
Yeah.
She said she couldn't believe that a grown woman, a doctor, a mother, middle-aged woman sounded like basically a valley girl. Using vocal fry, which we'll talk about. I had to go Google vocal fry to even understand what's going on here. Did you want to? What you want to say?
No, well, explain what vocal fry is first.
Okay, vocal fry. There's an article out here, and I'll put a link to it in the description, talking about the pattern of speech that mostly is prevalent in young ladies now, high school and college age girls trying to mimic pop stars. It's kind of like, oh my god.
You know what? It's so funny because when I've heard some of these people on Twitter speak on their other things, they do sound like that.
I know, they're like, oh my god.
And I was like, why are they trying to be Valley Girl? I've actually thought that before. I was like, why are they doing this?
It's the new Valley Girl, but it's popped up. They actually had speech professors looking into it, and they said that it comes from, they think it comes from a lot of pop stars, from like the Kardashians and from pop music, kind of.
So proof watching this stuff makes you dumber.
Yeah, pretty much.
Doesn't make you dumber, it makes you sound less intelligent.
And they talked about how these college girls usually they'll end sentences with
but
that is vocal fry.
I don't think that actually is the case here. because I saw what's going on, and yeah, she does sound like similar to what she's mocking, but I think a lot of it's because she seems very stressed.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think she's under a lot of stress. Obviously, she's testifying in front of the world. She's under a lot of stress. She sounds like she wants to crawl under a table.
Yeah.
And that's how it came across to me. Anyway,
I know when I get very stressed, I'm sure I sound different because you're like trying to keep your voice from shaking, you're trying to keep from crying, or whatever. And I mean, this is not saying taking sides on the whole Kavanaugh case in any way, because we're trying to stay out of the political thing of what we think on this. But it's a hot topic right now, so I understand. Oh, look, I got a lot of attention for doing this, but. Right now, I would stay away from that.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, and we're probably going to get a lot of hate because a lot of people are coming out and saying, she shouldn't be terminated. I'm not saying anybody should be fired
or not fired.
Fired. I am saying in this particular instance, I think it was a very poor.
It was a poor
judgment call. And I think she did come out. She did come out and apologize afterward. But this is after she deleted her Twitter account. Now you can see if you go out to Bounding in the Comics. They actually have many of the tweets.
I haven't seen these. Go ahead.
Yeah, calling for her head. This is boundinginthecomics.com, and I can put a link again in the description. They do have a copy of the video, which has been pulled down. And
nothing's gone. That's what people need to learn.
Yeah, nothing is gone. It doesn't matter if you put it up for 10 seconds, like especially if you are
you're using Kavanaugh hearings as your hashtag.
Yeah, and you're a quasi-celebrity. I mean, and you're talking, it's absolutely... And Twitter is probably the worst possible
if you're gonna
place...
do not go to Twitter.
to do this. I mean, just knowing the political leanings of people on Twitter, this is probably the worst possible place you could have posted this video. So, again, coming from Bounding in the Comics, Ford is at the center of accusations surrounding Donald Trump's Supreme Court nominee, Brett Kavanaugh. Ford accused Kavanaugh pinning her to a bed, covering her mouth, and trying to remove her clothes at a party in 82. This is all the news is talking about. If you don't know what's going on, you've been living in a cave, or thankfully you've been off of social media. You're smarter than we are. Butera's mocking of Ford drew instant criticism. She deleted the tweet and locked down her Twitter account. It now appears to have been completely deleted, but people piled on against, and Butera, there were even calls for her to be fired from her role in Star Wars. Yeah, okay, so... Disney is going to file Rachel Butera for being a garbage person. Carrie Fisher would roast Rachel Butera live for mocking...
That's actually probably true.
Dr. Ford. Yeah, well...
That's actually true. She would have. So I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, Carrie Fisher would not be happy. I mean, just knowing her political leanings, Carrie Fisher would not be happy, and she probably would give Butera the finger.
She gave everybody the finger, though.
She gave everybody the finger. Even if she liked them, she gave them the finger.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's not unusual, but she would not... Yeah, she would definitely not like this.
She would not like this. I can almost guarantee that. Again, people tweeting at Disney and Lucasfilm, our respect for Carrie Fisher and what Leia stands for. Fire. Please fire Rachel Butera from Star Wars.
Well, of course, these are all the fire tweets, because that's the point of the article.
This guy, now, okay. Hashtag rehire James Gunn.
But he's unbelievably rational, yeah.
He's unbelievably rational. Rehire James Gunn. Okay, you're calling for her... You're calling for her...
Wait, he trademarked unbelievably rational?
No, he can't trademark it. He just put the little trademark to make it sound like he can trademark it. So this dude is all for James Gunn being rehired, but now he's calling for the firing of Rachel Butera. Yeah. Oh my God. Disney loves Nazis. Rehire James Gunn.
They're not going to rehire James Gunn because clearly James Gunn did something really, really bad. They're not rehiring him because they are going to use his script though, but they're not going to rehire. They're not going to rehire him because we don't know what happened, but it's bad enough that Disney's won't even consider it. Something bad happened, and their own and Iger even said he was in agreement when multiple people came to him from different divisions saying that they felt this should happen. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's got to be something way more to it than we know about, but.
Yeah, so, anyway, so Bob Iger came out and said it's never gonna happen. We've got...
These are all gonna be a Firehurst comments.
Fire, yeah.
Here's the thing, people. They always say there's two things you should never speak about, and I completely agree with this. You should never speak about religion or politics on a public thing like Twitter, because it's going to bite you in the rear.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I have to tell you, I mean, am I going to I can't even tell you, how Disney is going to react to this. But the fact that she nuked her social media, she nuked her Facebook too, I guess, is not a good sign. And Disney is going to take a hard stand against political issues or its celebrities being out there representing franchises and talking politics, whatever. Then it's going to swing both ways. So
they should take a harder issue on people, working in comics. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they don't really pay much attention to comics. Comics people get away with an awful lot.
Comics people have said a lot worse, and they're still there.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen. My personal opinion, and probably because I know people feel passionately one way or the other about the Kavanaugh trials, is that it was a very ill-timed joke.
And for no other reason than for her own job. It was probably because they just released the Resistance trailer.
Same day the Resistance trailer comes out, she's out there like nobody's gonna like the show now.
It's like you're allowed to believe what you want to believe and have your opinions what you want to have and everything else, and that's cool, but they're your opinions and they're what you believe. But when you work for some place like a studio or something like that, there is no filter anymore, and you can't just go do this kind of thing because it's going to tick off a bunch of people. And I mean, this goes in the same on the other side too. People as we've seen with Marvel Comics all the time, they keep constantly saying things that are taking off the fan base. And how come they're allowed to say what they can because it's freedom of speech, tick up the fan base, but she can't do what she does because that's just mean. This is bad behavior no matter where you look at it, and that's why we're saying that you should always follow the rule of don't talk about religion, don't talk about politics. You can, but you have to understand that you're going to get a lot of crap back. You're going to get a lot of blowback by doing this.
As soon as you bring up politics, you've essentially alienated 50%. I mean, if you just assume we're going to split the country right down the middle, which I think it's a little more lopsided than that. But you split the country right down the middle, you're immediately going to alienate half of your audience.
So best does not do it.
No, and from Disney's point of view, with Butera, it's like they're trying really hard to get people on board with this show.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle for them.
It's an uphill battle for them because this show is just not looking that great for a lot of people. And the same day they dropped the new trailer, which might have actually won people over more so than the previous trailer. She's out there.
It was a better trailer.
However,
the first thing you said was, that doesn't sound like Carrie Fisher. So.
Oh my God. Okay, so I mean, completely.
Before this even happened.
Before any of this happened, I didn't even know who she was. We watched the trailer yesterday morning, and cool, it's General Leia. She doesn't really sound like General Leia at all. I mean, Carrie Fisher's voice is very hard to imitate. Well, I don't know, because to tell you the truth, in the bad lip reading videos, they actually did a really good job imitating Carrie Fisher when she wanted to frap. I thought that actually was pretty much dead on. But some of what they're going to do, people were like, well, why don't you? They can re-record her lines. There's not enough time for that. She did apologize. Well, it
doesn't matter. We know this. It doesn't matter.
But apologies anymore, especially on Twitter, don't really mean a whole lot.
Twitter, all you have to say is
will never forget.
There's anger on Twitter. I mean, it was like, okay, and the sun came up today. So we're breathing air. What else is new?
I mean, taking that position on Twitter, working for a company like Disney, working on a franchise like Star Wars, which has been embroiled in a bunch of political stuff, for months. Not a smart move.
No, but I mean, the flip side is she might have seen stuff that was being said by people from Marvel and was like, well, we can say whatever we want because we're allowed to.
That's true. Marvel set an example for...
they're allowed to say it, so I can say it. I mean, I don't know. It could have been as simple as that, but I just find that if you're a person and you're working for a company like Disney, whatever, no matter what branch it is, Lucasfilms or Marvel or whatever, you're best to avoid topics of politics and religion.
I mean,
or keep it to your own personal private accounts.
Yeah, and unfortunately, most of the people working for Marvel and Lucasfilm don't take their own advice. Yeah, but
there's how many Lucasfilm people have come out and made really crappy comments before too. So I mean, in her defense, she's probably like, they can say what they want, so I can say what I want.
That's just it. Because I mean, if Disney is going to come down and say, look, this is our social media policy across the board for comics, for Lucasfilm, for gaming company, whatever arm of Disney you work for. Shut up about politics. We don't really care. We don't want to hear it. Then they're going to have to enforce it on both sides of the aisle and just be like, these are the rules. do not engage in political debates on
Right.
social media.
But
it makes
they
us look bad.
fire her for this, and there's a bunch of people they have to fire for other things they've said. So it's just, I don't know. The whole thing is just insane. And I mean, when it comes to something about sexual assault, I mean, that's not something to really joke about anyway. But the flip side is that sometimes it's becoming almost like it doesn't mean as much as it used to, because everybody and their brother is, I can't tell you my posts I've seen now that all men should be out of politics because all men do is rape and sexually assault women. And I'm like, that's not true. I know a lot of men who don't behave that way. A lot of men. And, so there's just all this, extremist black and white, no gray area going on all over the place. And
so we don't know what's going to happen with Rachel Butera. We don't know what's going to happen with Resistance. It seems like Star Wars, Lucasfilm is doing a fantastic job of effectively pissing everybody off.
It's pissed everybody off.
You're pissing everybody off.
People that were on your side are like, F you.
Yeah, so I don't know, because now I'm waiting for people to boycott Resistance. So you had people who didn't like The Last Jedi who are probably going to boycott Resistance. And now you've got people who probably will boycott Resistance because of the voice actress for General Leia on the other side. So it's not going to make anybody happy.
No, at this point it's not. And it's just a mess. I mean, it's just everything's so polarized everywhere about every little thing that it's just...
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
So welcome to 2018. But yeah, word to the wise, if you're working on any kind of pop culture franchise, just stay off of Twitter, or just post nice things like
post cute dog videos.
Yeah, like the girl who does the voice of Moana. I saw her Twitter the other day, and she posts like once every couple of weeks, and it's all sunshine and kittens, and she stays out of it.
Yeah, just stay out of it.
Okay, so we're going to wrap this one up. Subscribe to CLOWNFISH TV for more pop culture news and views, art videos, gaming videos, and more. This has been Neon and Geeky Sparkles.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Bye.